Our first speaker today is this morning is Nathalie. She's joining us from Brussels, and she will tell us about the Festival of Light of Brussels, Bright Brussels, which was created in 2017. And so she's going to take us through the whole process of organizing such a festival. Off you go, Nathalie. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much. So yes, I'm here to talk to you about Bright Brussels, indeed, our very own light festival. And the event is still young and still in progress, and I wanted to give you an overview of it by inviting you in the inner thoughts of its development and explaining a bit where we come from and where we hope to go. So Bright Brussels has been organized for 4 years now by Visit Brussels, which is basically the tourist agency from Brussels. And event organization is one of the many activities and tools that Visit Brussels uses to fulfill its main mission, which is giving attractive offers to welcome tourists. And precisely February, after the holidays, happens to be a very quiet month, and the city is a little bit down economically. So Visit Brussels was looking for an event offer that could highlight this less active period. And this expectation met those of the supporting political authority, and because the event is almost totally financed by the Minister's Office for Mobility, which is also in charge of the lighting plan, and the city lighting plan was remastered at the time. So they thought it could be the right moment to launch a major and annual light event as a tool to boost this lighting plan. So Bright Brussels was born on these two parameters and held its first edition in 2017, and we've proposed a route along the Canal of Brussels where you could discover a dozen light artworks and a small light parade. And this first edition welcomed 55,000 people, which is, of course, a first success. But we were expecting more to make it a real tourist and economic tool. So the following year, we extended a little bit in terms of program with an international open call. And geographically, we extended on a second neighborhood. And more than 100,000 people showed up. The following year, this number doubled again to double again in 2020 in spite of terrible weather. We were just like between two storms, and we had to close the event for one evening partially. So it is really good considering. And we can't be sure of what awaits us for 2021, of course, and especially with the adaptation we will make here because of the sanitary situation. But what is certain is that we were really surprised by this strong and rapid increase. So we obviously knew the potential by observing what was happening abroad, or even in Belgium, in Ghent. And even if those numbers are not a goal in itself, because the city has limits and we can grow this number indefinitely, of course, but we have to be honest, and it is very reassuring for us and for the supporting political powers. Half of these people were coming from Brussels, 25% were coming from the rest of Belgium, and 25% were foreigners. So it confirmed the real demand for such an event in Brussels, and that it could become the touristic tool we were expecting. So here's some pictures of 2020, sorry. So of course, this rapid increase is a big help also to open doors to partners and let us focus on our deeper ambitions and the developments we've imagined for Light Festival. And I tried to resume those developments on four axes that you can see here. And of course, celebrating Brussels is the main objective before all others, because we want to rediscover Brussels for its inhabitants and the visitors, its heritage, highlight its potential, and make the festival as festive and active as the city. But in the future, we also want to create more interaction with the regional architectural offices and the department in charge of the lighting plan. So we could lay foundation for keeping some artworks permanent each year. And we can even focus on urban renovation or a new project that happened in the year by using and take advantage of the event's communication forms. And Brussels is a very thrilling place for innovation and creation, especially for the digital art scene, So one of our ambitions in the next few years is to develop an international B2B digital market that could bring together light artists with digital developers and other professionals to meet, talk, and exchange. And this could help position our event on an international level by showing an interesting and strong skill of our destination. The third axis is rather transversal because we like to put sustainability at the center of our thinking and evolve step by step to a more sustainable event. And it goes from the production of the event to the use of materials and the thematic shown in the artworks. For example, sustainability is one of the criteria on which the artworks are judged for the selection. Also, by our use of electricity, we try to be careful about that, and we plan to provide carbon offset donation according to our use of electricity during the festival. And or even in the way we welcome the public. For example, we stopped selling and distributing goodies. We created partnerships with local and international public transportation networks, and we encourage people to use soft mobility solutions to get to site. So those are still first steps, and we need to be creative to go stronger on that point each year and go greener. Collaboration and connection is quite the most important levels that we work on, and it is more about our link to our partners and the people of Brussels. So first steps have been taken on previous edition to include Brussels' cultural sector. We've worked with museums and foreign cultural representation to create some thematic artworks, but we would like to go further to really invite people inside those institutions. And this year, we will also launch our first project with an art school, and the students will be exhibiting light artworks they've created, and it is really part of their official study program, and they will be shown in the street just like the international artists. So, as I said, we are an economic tool, but we can't also forget that we are a real source of social link and connection for the people, and especially for the people of Brussels. And the city is divided into many neighborhoods, each with its own identity and way of life, and some neighborhoods are neglected because of a lack of activities or because their reputation has declined, or just because they became some place of transit where people don't stop anymore. And with Bright Brussels, we bring people together, and we can bring the people back and make them rediscover and reappropriate their city in a different way. But to get on with all of this, our objective, and especially on this social level, it all depends on the way we will build ourselves in the future. And as I said, we're still young, full of ambition, but we know that we have to focus on three big questions that we still need to answer. First, we need the people, our visitors, our partners, and the artists, of course, to really take possession of the event and identify to it. And this is a difficult task because we're not born on a strong cultural tradition like Fête des Lumières or born from the initiative of the citizens, and we're not even in the end of the year celebration times. We really emerge from political and economic reasons, and we have invited ourselves in the streets. We thought it can have as good or bad effects for the inhabitants, and we still need to find a way for the citizen and our partners to make this even their own and to accept it fully. Second is the choices that we will make in our development. With a bit of creativity, the possibilities are endless, especially in a city as dynamic, festive, and rich as Brussels. And there are many roads we can take, and we need to be careful not to disperse. We know that we will have to make choices to finally build a strong identity that will make the event last in the years, but also an identity that will make ourselves different. Beautiful light festivals are emerging everywhere in Europe and in Belgium, and our biggest challenge in the coming years will be to define ourselves in this panel to stand out. And we still need to meet our touristic objectives, be part of the city itself, and continue to meet the expectation of a surprisingly fast-growing audience, but stay ourselves at the same time. So we don't have the complete answers to all of these questions yet, but we're working on it. And I can't tell you exactly what the festival will look like in 2021 because it's still in discussion with the government, but I can guarantee that something will happen. And I hope that we'll be able to come and visit us and see this evolution with us.
Thank you, Nathalie. Indeed, that would be our pleasure to go to Brussels and visit the Light Festival early next year. We do have a few questions from the chat box. The first question from Craig was asking about how do you measure the sustainability of the artworks? What kind of measures do you use? It was one of the objectives of the festival, of course. So.
Yeah, so about the artworks, this is really some first steps that we have taken. And for the moment, this it can be around different criteria, like the use of the materials or the use of electricity. It can be the message of the artworks. It can be a lot of things. So this is not some concrete measure. This is more about a subjective advice from the jury. But we will try to put something more concrete every year to really implement this aspect in the festival.
Okay, all right. On a more social aspect, Heike is asking about the target groups. Which target groups are more or less involved in the Light Festival? Yesterday we had a presentation from Isabelle Corten, who was talking about how in Molenbeek they had more male participants in their project. So do you know more about the Bright Brussels?
Yeah, for the moment, it's really large because, as I said, we still need to focus on some of the collaboration and partnership that we can create. For the moment, we try to work with, of course, museums, but also some young theater, theater for young people, some neighborhood theaters. And in the coming years, we'd like to this permanent light artworks project could be made with the citizens, because we would try to make the citizens choose these artworks and maybe work with the artist and make it a real decisions of the citizens, and so they can appropriate that artworks later.
Okay, thank you. I see we don't have any more questions from the chat. So everyone, the festival is Bright Brussels. It's organized by the capital region of Belgium, so Brussels. Oh yeah, one more question from Ricardo. Is the choice of projects related to the budgets?
Of course, partly, because we can't do it without that criteria. But this is not the only one. Actually, the 5 criteria on which the artwork are selected is, yes, budget, but it is not the most important. Quality of the artwork is the main one. Sustainability, the technical feasibility, and the implementation in the location. So how they take into account the place where they're put. So yes, budget is one of the criteria, of course.
Of course, yeah. Okay, Natalie, thank you for your presentation.